Page 33, Theme from Finlandia by Sibelius. I encourage you to go search on Finlandia and let's do the orchestras play it. It's really a fun thing. We've done it in our local orchestra a couple of times. It's really a neat piece. Now, it's in common time or 4/4 time. 4 flats, we're in the key of A flat major. Go find my scale video on A flat major and do that at least 1 octave up and down. Also, while you're there, do the scale on F minor. That has 4 flats also. Yeah. Now, for this, let's take it one hand at a time. I don't think the rhythms are problems, a few dotted rhythms, but okay. But I want to make sure the fingering is okay and the notes, because we got 4 flats to deal with. We're using all the flat keys except the G flat. We're not using that one. Okay, let's see what happens. Starting out with 3rd finger here, puts you in this position. I want this to be fun, so it's here. The first measure has 3 counts in it. You're coming in on beat 2. And there's an error in the music as far as I'm concerned, because that means there should be a measure somewhere else with 1 count in it. And there isn't. So either they should have put a quarter rest at the beginning so that that first measure has 4 counts in it, or they need another measure somewhere else, usually toward the end, with 1 count in it. So I think it's easier if you just take a pencil and draw in a quarter rest between the common time, the C, and the first quarter note. Just put a little quarter rest in each staff. Just know you're coming in on beat 2. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now that last 2 measures of the first line. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And the second line is similar, it's slightly different notes, same rhythm. Let's go down 3rd line. You got 1 beat rest, you come up just a little bit, and here. We're using 4th finger here because we need 5th finger coming up for the A. I want to connect them. Then 1, 5, and then a 3, and a 2, 3. Because I got really 2 voices going on here, you can't really tell it, but take my word for it. And I want to connect them. So and then the rest go on. 1, 4. The E natural there. Isn't that neat? And then you repeat back to the line above it and do it again. Left hand. Left hand's treble clef. So you're up here. And you got these walking quarter notes going all over. It's sort of like a counter melody. It's just connect them all. I think you can play those and work those out. You're just staying right in this area. And the last measure, the second line, you're here. Here. Remember the D flat. The 3rd line, 1, 2, 4, 2. Just stay in this area. 1, 2. Connect them. Now look out, the last 2 measures of the 3rd line. You're here, 2, and then a 1, cross over, and then they're saying a 2-1, a 2-1, so you play with 2nd finger, and then put the thumb on it, substitute. And if you do a finger substitution, just do it immediately. And that way you can reach the D flat. If your hand's big enough, you don't have to substitute. You can leave 2nd finger on it and reach the D flat. If your hand's big. Otherwise, do the 2-1 and then here. For the last line, 3rd measure over. And broken C chord, I recommend 4th finger on the E natural, not 3rd. Because that's the fingering for it. Use that. Now the last 2 measures, the 2nd ending at the bottom, you're here, and then cross over, connect this, you can't connect that. And then 4-1, and then A flat. Remember we're in the key of A flat? Put the hands together, this should be interesting. Here. hands doing their own thing. And I typically struggle with that because which finger and which hand is going down at the same time. I have to work that out really, really slowly. And then go back and get rid of the hesitations. Third line down, now we're adding more. Now when you repeat, the left hand, just reach over, second finger, and then put a thumb on it. Do a finger substitution there. Otherwise you gotta go, and I don't like that kind of a move. I really don't. I would avoid it if possible. You can't always. This is the bottom of the page, first ending. Second measure with the broken C chord. When you repeat back to the reverse repeat sign, just cross over and use second finger on the E flat, and then put thumb on it, substitute there, and that way you're ready to go on. So to play the first ending and repeat is here. And I do that finger substitution immediately before I play the first note. So work it out with the hands together and then go back and get rid of the hesitations. This is not a fast piece, but it needs to be a steady beat. And then we can go back, and as far as the articulation goes, they have some phrasing and slurs in here. I'm suggesting you connect everything in the left hand pretty much as best you can. In the right hand you can follow. Sometimes you get a rest, you have to. Go ahead and follow the slurs in the right hand, but keep the left hand legato. See, I left it up here, but not here. Lift up. Now here, third line, I think you can connect that. You don't have to lift up there. People don't agree on the phrasing. Go listen to the orchestra play it. Now, how are they phrasing it? And you can phrase it the same way here. I suggest a phrase, go ahead and learn it the way it's written. Lift up as it's phrased, and then go listen to it and see. Sometimes it can get kind of choppy if you get short phrases. So at the beginning, I mean, that could all be one phrase. You don't have to split that up. So learn it the way it's written first, and then experiment. And what's the orchestra doing? Do they connect it? Does it sound like one musical sentence? Or it's two musical sentences, and you can do it that way too. And then once you have that, then add the dynamics. It starts out very soft, and that's the melody, which is the right hand. And if this is, you have to decide how soft this is. The left hand has to be super, super soft. Come up just a little bit to soft. Now you're going to crescendo at the end of the... You have to crescendo in the left hand, you can't in the right hand. And you go up to moderately soft. See, this is what they talk about at the top of the page of changing dynamic marks. You have an MP-F at the beginning of the third line. And when you see two dynamics like this, you know you're going to play this part at least twice. The first dynamic applies to the first time you play it. The second dynamic applies to the second time you play it. That's the way it works. So the first time we play this, we're going to be moderately soft, top note in the right hand. Everything else has got to be really soft. Crescendo on the first ending, you're at black. you repeat, well, it's F, you're loud. That's the right hand top note. Here, you can start getting louder in the left hand, but when you repeat, it's the right hand that's got to be loud. It's the left hand has to come down. So. And it's loud until you get to the second ending, where you start loud. Dim E rit. Diminuendo and retardando. Get softer, go down to soft, the last measure, and slow down. Huh? Start it loud. And as you play this note, I want to hear that note. Don't cover it up. It's got to be important. That's sort of the dynamics. Get to know it well enough you feel these dynamics. If you listen to the orchestra play, you can get into it there too and see how the dynamics work. The piece does get rather loud and exciting in it. Speed-wise, Andante is just a... Again, we're not talking about pulse. We're talking feel. Because this is fine for an Andante. That's fine for an, it's not a fast piece. It's not a slow piece either, so don't drag it. And then they've added pedal. Well, there's parts of it we need pedal because it gets exciting. We want the overtones, but we don't want to be blurring it up. So I have some suggestions on the pedal here. If I pedal it the way they're suggesting here in the first line, this is what it sounds like. And that may work okay. It helps to connect some things. You're giving color. It's the only thing I can think of as to why you would do that. The last two measures, the first line, you're connecting repeated notes, and I like that. But I don't know about giving that color, because I need it in the background, although they want it to come out a little bit, obviously, or they wouldn't be pedaling it. I'll leave it up to you on that, but I question the pedaling in the second measure. But the pedaling toward the end to connect the repeated notes, I like that. And then at the end of the second line, they're just it's the last two measures. You're getting louder in here, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to get the overtones. That kind of helps sometimes. It's just, I don't want that, is what I don't want. I think I would pedal it on both of those if I'm going to do it, change it on each beat. So here if I'm going to do that. Otherwise, don't pedal it. And then at the third line down, now you can go ahead and pedal this. We got a lot of overtones, a lot of repeated notes. This is fine. See, it's like a contrast to this clean, simple sound at the beginning. And then here, I think in the last two measures of the third line, I'd lift it up on the second beat and leave it up. And don't put it down until the third beat of the next measure. So it's here, lift it up. Keep it up. Now let down. I don't know why they're changing it there in the first ending on the second measure. I would leave it down. You're loud here. Just leave it down for all four beats. And then change it when you repeat. Suggesting that's pretty close to what they're suggesting, but there's a few. I just don't want a lot of blurriness, but we want the overtones on the exciting part. And the contrast between the first two lines and the last two lines. I like that contrast and sound. I'd like to play it with you very slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the dynamics. We will do the repeats in the first and second ending, and I'll try and pedal it as I suggested. So I'll give us 5 counts because we come in on beat 2. So a full 4 counts because it's a 4/4 time, common time, plus a beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, go. Second ending. 2, 3, 4, off.